Cappin at the Spa. I'm Saratoga Geese, and we're recording live from Quivik Drive in overcast Saratoga. Today being the penultimate day of the meet, we have 6 selections for you. We have Daily Double Dan on our left. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
And we have a new player with us today, Cappin Chris 2.5. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Saratoga Geese. How you guys doing?
We're excellent. We're excellent. Why don't you tell us a little about your Saratoga history?
Well, I was thinking about this, and I think my first Travers was 1996. And other than 4 Travers weekends, I've been up here every weekend since 1996. I've always enjoyed myself. It's a wonderful time, and it's good to be here in Saratoga this week.
Excellent. Now, how about that 2.5 nickname? What's that all about?
Well, as you know, when I play my exactas, I don't play a $2 exacta. I'll pay the $5 exacta, which would be 2.5 times. So I've been called 2.5 times.
All right. And is that what you say when you come back to the circle all the time?
When I win. When I
All
lose,
right.
I say nothing.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's get to it. We're going to go to race 2. First selection from Danny.
All right, race 2, maiden special weight, 75,000, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. A lot of first-time starters here. It looks like we have only 2 horses that have even run before. Neither of them ran very well the first time out. Buyer par 66, the top buyer in the field's a 45. So, all first-time starters here. The one I'm looking at is the number 10, Rhythm with Soul, 8-1 morning line. So this horse actually has the top turf and top distance Tomlinson's in the field. Has a couple good workouts, has John Kimmel, a solid trainer, and I think he has just as good of a shot as any horse in this race at an 8-1 morning line. I'll be rolling with him.
All right. Excellent. We're going to move over to another maiden special weight at 7 furlongs, race 4, and we have 2.5's first selection.
All right, so race 4, 7 furlongs, maiden special weight. There's a couple of horses that have a race under their belt, but nothing really stood out to me so much. So I went a little bit deeper to see what I would like. And what I came up with is the number 6, Fancy That. The reason I like the number 6, pretty good last workout. The trainer, McLaughlin, is about 25% at the meet this year, and the trainer-jockey combo, their return on investment is very strong at this meet. So without much else to get me excited, I saw that, and that's the horse that I'm going on. So that's number 6, Fancy That.
All right. Good selection. Bravo and McLaughlin have been doing well. One just quick note on that. Yesterday's selection in the stakes race was Love My Honey, who got scratched. My selection yesterday. The horse who ran 3rd in that race behind him and Into the South is Style and Grace from the 10 hole out there. So we're going to consider him a little bit too, based on that key race theory. But it would have been nice if Love My Honey ran yesterday. We would have found out how well he did. Let's move on to the 8th race. These two are going to go head-to-head in the 8th race. We're going to go with Danny's selection first.
All right, 8th race, claiming 40,000, mile and a 16th on the turf. I'm looking at the 5, Phone Funky Monkey at 10-1. So a couple things here caught my eye. He's a 3-year-old. You look back to some races, ran twice at Saratoga last year as a 2-year-old, and won with the 72 buyer. So typical 2 to 3-year-old progression. You'd expect him to come back this year running in the mid to high 70s, low 80s. Ran back 3 times this year, all in allowance company. Didn't run awful, but didn't show that improvement we were looking for. Stayed in the high 60s, low 70s buyer range. Maybe had a couple excuses in his last couple races. Last race was dropping down into a claim. It was taken off the turf, so we're going to throw that out. Just go off of his turf races, and he's going to be dropping in a claim here against lower company. And a mid to high 70s buyer can absolutely win this. So I think he's got a great shot to run something in that range. I also like the pace factor. I see a couple horses fighting on the lead. He likes to close from off the pace, so he's got that going for him too. Going against Colleen, the favorite, who I'm certainly not against, but I absolutely think Phone Funky Monkey is just as good enough to beat Colleen at a nice price.
All right. And now we got 2.5 is going to go head-to-head with him, and we'll keep it loud with that noise. People are knocking on the door looking for winners. Unbelievable.
Not that I disagree with what Daily Double Dan said, but I'm going to take a horse just outside of him. I'm going to be on the 6, Long Gray Line. And reasons why I like this horse. Number 1, Linda Rice on the turf is always something I look for. Linda Rice is 30% with first race off claims. The horse has the 2nd highest buyer in the field and the highest last 2 buyers in the field. So with these things considered, I think Long Gray Line has a good shot to wind up in the winner's circle.
All right, excellent. We're certainly going to have that exacta, and then we'll let these two fight it out as far as, and we'll probably have it 2.5 times.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to head to the 10th and 11th, so this is going to sort of be a daily double for me, and I'm going to give you a selection in both of those two races. First one is the Prioress, the Grade 2 6 furlong race. Excellent race. You got Mia Mischief coming out. You got horses coming out who are undefeated. Dream Pauline is undefeated. Dream Tree for Baffert and Smith is undefeated. You got several horses in here who run against each other. I'm looking at Bronx Beauty, the one horse, at 15 to 1. You want to look at common opponents sometimes. You look at how Mia Mischief ran second, Sower ran third, Classy Act all lost to a horse called Dixie Serenade. Now, lo and behold, you look at the one horse, and the last two races the one horse ran, he beat Dixie Serenade both times. So a lot of people think, well, Penn National and Parks, you know, that's not going to compare to Saratoga. But the bottom line is, he beat Dixie Serenade twice. Dixie Serenade comes back and beats the best horses at Belmont in the victory ride. So I think the one's going to get overlooked. You got Johnny Velasquez. You got a trainer from the mid east, from the Penn Parks area. So I think he's going to drift up even more possibly, and you might have a real shot there at 15 to 1 with Bronx Beauty. Moving on to the 11th, an allowance non-winners of 1 at a mile on the grass. Again, very competitive field. You've got 9 to 2, 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 2. There's a lot of horses in that area. Big 12-horse field. I'm looking at the 10 at 8 to 1. The 10 has just as good buyers as everybody else. You got Jose Ortiz on the outside. The horse clearly had talent in 2017, and now coming into 2018, went off 11 to 1 on his first grass race this year, only lost by 4 lengths. I'm looking for a nice trip from the outside, and we're looking for Remarked to take it home at 10 to 1. And if we can get a daily double going with those guys, we'll be excited. It'll be an Island daily double, the 110. So before we sign off, let's.
I have a side
any
note
final
there.
thought?
Remarked, the horse that Saratoga Geese just picked, was probably my biggest bet of the year. Made opening weekend. I also picked him on the show. I believe our first show this year, Remarked, during that first weekend, and didn't get it done for me, so I was staying away from him today. But now that you picked him, I don't know. I'm gonna have to give him a second chance
All right,
here.
maybe. And I know 2.5 wants to give a special shout out here before we close it up.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Knapford fan 23 is sending me some luck today. I'm thinking about you, buddy.
All right, and last thing before we close, you notice the bobble is missing here in the middle. We took the other trainers off because it's Chad Brown Day. He set the record for most wins, and if this speech goes out to Saratoga Racecourse or Naira, we need a bobblehead of Chad Brown so we can get him up here right front and center. Pletcher and Baffert are back in the house. So congratulations, Chad, and let's hope today is your day.